Hey there, Fashion Crossroads fans. So, what are you thinking about this cold weather? Oh my goodness. It's kind of like the first cold snap of the year is always a little bit of a shocker, isn't it? It's kind of like, birds, 20 degrees outside. Kind of crazy. That's okay though. It's almost a Halloween and this is the first cold snap that we've gotten, and so we can't really complain, right? And you know, I still have leaves on the trees outside my window, so I'm like, yay, it got cold. And I yesterday, because I knew it was going to get really cold last night, I went out and I picked a whole bowl of tomatoes off my tomato plants that they were still producing. They still had little baby tomatoes and like bigger tomatoes. And I mean, I don't ever remember a year where I was getting tomatoes in October. That's just crazy. So yeah, so we've had a great fall. We have nothing to complain about, right? Nothing at all. Okay, so tonight is a little bit different. I wanted to talk productivity because at the end of the day, Fashion Crossroads is about women who work typically, and that's our niche. And so I know that whether you are a stay-at-home mom and busy with your kids or a two-income earning family, that you are managing a lot, because we all are managing a lot. And if you're managing work and being a parent and being a spouse, that's a lot. So I'm definitely in that position. I have two teenagers. I have an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old, a freshman and a senior. I have these businesses, and my husband is a teacher at NC, and so he is very busy with his own career, and so we are a busy, busy family. And I would not be able to keep my sanity without these productivity strategies that I'm going to share with you tonight. And I hope that you will share yours with me as well, because I bet you have some that maybe I haven't thought of that would really be a great fit for my life. And some of the things that I share with you may not be a good fit for you, but hey, you might get one thing out of this talk that you can implement into your life and help make things be a little bit less chaotic. I know without what I'm going to talk to you about tonight, I would feel like my life was a show, because we just have way too much going on for me to not do these things. And I can't stand that feeling of chaos. I don't like surprises. I don't like stuff getting thrown at me. I like to know and plan and be prepared. And so this is just how I have to do things to keep my sanity. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is to start with your goals and your roles and let that drive your tasks. So I am a huge fan of Franklin Covey, the Franklin Covey system. I discovered this when I was in college, and I have been using it ever since. It got me through my undergraduate and my graduate degrees, and it is what I use today. And I went through a period when digital calendars came out where I tried really, really hard to transition to a digital calendar, and it didn't matter which ones I tried. I just kept going back to Franklin Covey. And the reason for that, I think, is there is a component of their system that just helps me make sense of my world. And it is called the compass card. So this is what the compass card looks like. You have this little page finder that helps you put it at the right page, but this is what the compass card looks like. And at the beginning, at the top up here, is all of the things that are important to me as a person. So it's your physical, your social, emotional, your mental, and your spiritual goals for the week. So it makes you think about yourself. Like, what is the most important physical goal that I have for myself this week? What is the most important social, emotional goal I have for myself this week? Am I getting together with my friends? Am I making time for that? What is the most important mental thing that I can do this week? Am I learning? Am I always learning and always growing? And then what is my most important spiritual thing that I can do for myself this week? And then after that, it is separated into these various boxes. And all of these boxes are a place for me to define my roles, my most important roles as a person. So for me, I always have home as my first one, mother and wife as my second one, then all of my roles as a business owner, the CEO, the CFO, the COO, and the CMO, okay? So that's Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Organizational Officer, and Chief Marketing Officer. Those are the primary roles that I have to repeat every single week. And so I do the same thing with those. I ask, what is the most important thing that I need to do to make our home, to make it run, right? So laundry, do I need to cook dinner? Do I need to water the plants? You know, all of those kinds of home tasks that have to get done every week. And then if there's something really important that I need to do that's specific to home, like maybe I need to call for a repair or something like that, that's what I put in that box. And then for mother, wife, obviously, what's the most important thing I need to do in those roles this week? CEO, the CEO is in charge of vision and steering the ship. Where are we going as a company? And with all of the other roles, I can get so caught up in my my tasks, my to-do list, that I forget to think about where is it that I want to go? What is it that I'm trying to achieve? What is our mission? What is the vision? So that's a really important role for me, and I need to set it aside as a separate thing and say, what is the most important thing that I need to do in that role this week to make sure that I'm not neglecting it? And then, of course, the COO is like basic management of the stores. What do I need to do to manage both of the stores, to manage my team? The CFO, what are my financial responsibilities this week? You know, what bills do I need to pay? Is it quarterly tax time? Is it payroll tax time? Do I need to write payroll? What are my responsibilities there? And then the Chief Marketing Officer, what marketing responsibilities do I have? And I have just hired a person to help me with that, which I'm so grateful for. So now this is really going to be me looking ahead. What's coming up for next month that I need to make sure, am I ordering postcards for? Am I sending out mailers? What special events am I having? All of those kinds of things that I need to pre-plan. So this just helps me really, really organize my days and my daily tasks. And it is a lifesaver for me. And I really do think this is why I keep going back to Franklin Covey, because there is no other planner system. And believe me, I'm not plugging Franklin Covey here. I'm just telling you that this system that they have really works. It makes sense to my brain. So then the next thing that I do is I look at those roles, and then I consider, you know, what are the tasks that I need to do to accomplish those goals, those big things that I need. And I put those in my calendar first. And then everything else that I need to do goes in second. And then I prioritize each of those tasks. So the deadline-driven tasks get A's next to them, and the important but not urgent tasks get B's next to them. And then I look at all the A tasks and I ask myself, what is the most important task that I need to do today? That's A number 1. What's the second most important task? That's A number 2, and so forth. So then when I get through my day, and I never, ever, it seems, get through all of my I never get to check everything off. That's just the way that it goes. I check off what I accomplished, and then I draw arrows to pointing to the next day for the things that I didn't get done. And then before I start my task list for the next day, I move those tasks over so that way I don't ever forget to do something that I didn't get done the day before. And I have found that if I don't do that, if I don't prioritize my tasks, then I end up getting sucked into black holes. And the big black hole for me is email. Email is a huge black hole for me because I can go onto email expecting to spend 10 minutes, and 45 minutes later I'm still dealing with something that is in the emails. And somebody once told me that email is somebody else's priorities for you, and I think that there's some real truth to that. And so I do my email at the end of the day, not at the beginning of the day. I focus on those more important tasks, and I avoid the big black hole time wasters like emails. because I just know how that goes. So prioritizing my tasks really helps me to maybe, I guess, focus my time on the stuff that's most important and leave the stuff that is less important to the end of the day. If I have time, fine. If I don't have time, guess it gets done tomorrow. So that is the second thing. The first thing is starting with your goals and your roles, and then let that drive your tasks. The second thing is prioritizing your tasks. The third thing is setting an intention for the day. So I discovered just recently, actually, in August, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And I really like this. I think this is something that I am going to want to keep in my life, like the Franklin Covey planner, for years to come. I don't do it every day. I try to do it every day, but you know, life happens, right? But basically, I get up an hour earlier than I would normally get up, and I do my daily coaching, which I get from an app that I have on my phone. It's just kind of like an encouragement about, you know, continuing to grow and all of that. And then I do my Bible study, and then I listen to 10 minutes of a professional development book or a personal development book. Then I write down my observations, thoughts in my journal. Then I do a 10-minute meditation because I have really come to believe in the value of meditation. I usually do meditations on mindset. And then I do a 3-minute visualization of how I want my day to go. And I visualize myself enjoying my day, enjoying my customers, enjoying my staff, enjoying my job. I visualize myself accomplishing those big goals that I have in my life. And it just centers me so that I'm going into my day with a good perspective and a right mindset. So that is my setting your intention for the day. Now, obviously, you don't have to go through that huge process, but for me, all of those things are really valuable in and of themselves, and so I want to include all of them. But having that time where I actually visualize myself going through my day the way I want to go through my day with a positive attitude is really, really beneficial for me. I like to check off the tasks that I've accomplished. I think that gives me a really great sense of accomplishment because it's very rare that I accomplish every single task on my list, but I can check off the ones that I did accomplish, and I can have the mindset that look what I did accomplish rather than look at what I didn't accomplish. And that's just a subtle shift in perspective that's really, really helpful. Sometimes I even write down stuff that wasn't on my list, but that I did so that I can check it off because that actually feels really good to me. Classic type A, I know, but I like it. Okay, and then my last top 5 is that I put my phone away when I get home. So my family and myself both deserve for me to be present when I'm at home. And I'm not present when my phone is around because it's too big of a distraction. I can work on my phone. I can waste time on my phone, and none of that helps me be present with my family. So I put my phone away when I get home, and I try really, really hard not to pick it back up again. So that means I'm not answering customer messages past 6. I'm not answering emails past 6. I'm not on my phone before I go to bed. I just really put it away, and I figure whatever didn't get done can get tackled the next day. And that helps me to have that downtime that I need, that my family needs for me to have, and then also to help me not get burnout, because in most of our jobs, we could work 24/7, right? There's like no end point. Like you're never done. And so you just have to get to the point where you're like, I've done enough for today, and whatever didn't get done will get done tomorrow. So those are my top 5 productivity hacks for busy women. I know you probably have some more, and when you watch this video, if you think of one that you would like to share with us, please do. I would love to hear which ones work for you really well. Color coding, whiteboard calendars, big desk calendars, digital calendars, whatever. I always plan my week on Sunday. I sit down and I get everything all scheduled out. We talk about it as a family so everybody knows what everybody else is doing. Hopefully we're not scrambling at the last minute because we didn't think about the fact that one of our kids needed to be picked up and transported here or there or whatever. Sometimes that happens, but we try to not let that happen. And so we can try to calm the chaos of our busy lives. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoy this a little bit different perspective on Wednesday wardrobing, and we will see you next week.